We'll be through in just a second.
You got 2 minutes.
Okay, go ahead.
And he's finishing it.
If not, there's one back by, in that little fridge by me, there's one back there.
I'm going to my seat.
There are cookies on the back table. Please eat the 6 dozen cookies.
I will with my morning coffee.
Okay,
Thanks,
very
Robert.
good. Thank you, Kathy.
You can do it.
That's great, you know, I was thinking about
You want a prize?
great minds, but I didn't get it done.
Oh, welcome everybody. The meeting's gonna start in about 1 minute. If y'all would please make sure your phones are on silent or turned off, please. And when y'all address the board, would y'all come up to the mic and announce your name? That way, we're Facebooking it, right? Stream live, it's being streamed live so that everybody can know who you are. The record will reflect the member, please. Thank you.
And speak into your microphones.
Yes,
Yes.
loudly.
We will.
Clearly.
I think she was telling you.
I know.
Mike's over here. You don't have to, but have a mic. Charles can't hear, you know. Really? Can you, Charles?
All right. Good morning. Welcome. Hopefully everyone made it through the rain that we got there a little bit ago. We appreciate you being here and taking time out of your Saturday to spend time with us and deal with the affairs of the fort. So today is Saturday, May 15th, 2021. It is 9 a.m. and I'll now call the regular meeting of the Fort Clark Springs Association Board of Directors to order. All right, we have a quorum. Welcome back, Mr. Mummy.
Good to be back.
Glad to have you here in person. We had quite the experience last time trying to do it over Zoom, but we will get there. So let's start out with a moment of silence. All right, now the pledges.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag.
I
Pledge allegiance to thee, Texas,
one state under God, one and indivisible.
We'll start out with the minutes from the last regular board meeting on Wednesday, April 21st. Everyone had the opportunity to review those.
Yes, I have.
Yes.
Do we have a motion to approve those?
I move that we approve the minutes from last meeting.
Second.
The motion and the second. Okay. All right, all in favor? Aye. Passes unanimously. All right, Secretary's report. We're ready for the Secretary's report.
Oh, I'm sorry. Still a little glare. There were no correspondence this week or this month, so there is nothing to report.
Mr. Herman, Treasurer's report.
Treasurer's report for April. Motel revenue, $16,664.43 with 247 guests. The lot sales, transfers, and resale fees totaled $1,825. Collections for April, $23,679. In March, we collected $14,229, so we're going in the right direction, up. The restricted fund total is $218,683.24, which includes cash available, letter of credits, and the amount that's in preservation. The net income before estimated bad debts and depreciation was a net negative $1,856.84 for April. Profit and loss for April. For Fort Clark, $166,959.46. And the expenses for April, $203,472.20 for a net income loss of $36,512.74. The profit and loss for October through April, $1,355,398.51. The expenses, $1,515,610.13. For a net income loss of $160,211.62. Los Morris had a profit of gross profit of $869.75 with expenses of $788.39 for a profit of $81.36. The Los Morris profit and loss October through April was a profit of $7,603.50 with an expenses of $318.84 for a net income of $284.66. The restricted fund for April had income of $5,138, expenses of $1,956.19, for a net income of $3,181.81. The restricted fund, October through April, had a $36,206.80 profit with expenses of $15,649.47 for a net income of $20,557.33. The daily bank balances. As of the 14th of May, the checking account had $38,595.94. Credit card account had $144,825.07. Money market, $9,294.26. That's out of the Texas Community Bank. The Bank and Trust. I'm going to change the name of it. The Los Morris account was $396.77. The restricted fund had $382,584.07. General was $219,632.17, and the historical, $1,641.90. For a grand total of $796,970.18. I think the form has to be corrected, it says band and trust. Okay.
All right.
And that's it.
Thank you, Mr. Herman. We'll move on to the executive officer report.
I make a motion that we accept.
You don't have to.
It's
No.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry,
No.
that was a report. Okay, I'm done.
Well, it's been working this down for years, okay. In the areas of our different departments and everything, it's been a real busy month because we have a lot of things that are sort of on the table that have not been completed. We started installing our front office system and our HOA system. The first thing we had to do with the HOA information was transfer everything from what we call the black system over to an Excel, basically spreadsheet, for the first time that we've had it, so we migrate this information into QuickBooks as well as into Concierge, HOA Concierge Plus.
Excuse me, Alan. If
Yep.
you could stay with the mic or closer,
Okay.
because if we want to go back and listen to it, we won't hear anything.
Oh, that's an idea. We basically have over 1,800 members that are lot owners, as well as over 800 residential members. This has never been put in a database that we could actually transfer to anywhere to start, to get any information to basically every program out there that we have to use. So for the last 3 weeks, a lot of volunteers have put in a lot of effort as far as transposing the names from a written sheet over to what is now a spreadsheet for both the residential and for the membership, which we finished yesterday. So this will allow us to start understanding exactly, I guess the number one reason for doing it, besides just being able to get our accounting area to go, we do not have an accurate accounting for our 911 addresses. If you try to find something according to a 911 address, more than likely 50% chance you're not going to be able to find that house in Fort Clark. So that is another reason for doing this. So that has been completed. I'll be working with Concierge Plus to get that on the database so that we can start information and communication with all the members. It's a step above what we're doing now as far as our dispatch. That should be online within 2 weeks, I think. I think that's an optimistic thought. Our front office and administration in the PMS and property management system that we started with, the one we originally went with, the one I originally thought was our best one, once we started installing it, I found out that there were some additional requirements for hardware for IT that did not make sense and was not conveyed when we first started. So drop back, punt, start over with the number 2 system, which I signed everything with them, and we'll be working on the next 2 days, next 2 weeks, getting that installed for reservations with the front office, the RV park, and the campground. I think that will probably take about another 2 weeks to get all that installed. We'll start training some next week. Both of them were good systems. It's just a matter of we're trying to get our systems into the cloud rather than using our server. And the first one had a little bit more requirements that in the long run did not look like something we wanted to continue. Golf Now template, which will put our golf program online, they're working on the website now. It will be completed and online in probably around the middle of July. And it's not a matter of getting the work, well, we knew when we signed this that they have such a backlog of getting different golf courses on that that's just our waiting time to get on it. So basically in the middle of July is when we will have all of our golf area online. The golf mower has been purchased, as in everything else in the country right now. Everything's backed up as far as getting things, parts to finish things being made, so we have not received a delivery date on that right now. As Bill said, our collections have increased quite a bit in the last 2 months. Renee Ford is doing an exceptional job following up with our lawyers and our accounts, and actually working with the people to make their accounts current. So that's probably one of the more positive things we've accomplished in the last 2 months. Renee's done a real good job there. Maintenance, the focus obviously has been on mowing, since we have been getting rain for the last 2 weeks. If it keeps up, we hope it keeps up and we keep this rain going. And they have also been rehabbing the Duck Inn for an opening of May 27th. We're going to try to get it opened up. And they prepped the rooms for remodeling that MK Builders are in the process of, and pretty much online. The only thing they have left are the floors in the bathroom and the floors in the room. They've done all the walls and all the patching, so they're good there. Our security departments all receive CPR training. You'll see some used signs up on some of the trails and as well as our roads for mile-per-hour signs, 15-mile-per-hour signs. We put a few new ones up so there's no argument about speeding in the fort. And we are really looking at new communications methods, since there seems to be a lot of influx, and I hate to use the terminology of illegal aliens since someone objected, but that's basically what we have. And as everybody's heard, we've had quite a few calls in the last 2 weeks. Dickman Hall, as of last night, we rescheduled the opening of the Dickman Hall Bar for May 27th. I think that's a doable thing. Recreation staff, Sherry has got her staff hired for the park. They have started training on the weekends. They've all received their CPR training. The 2 weekends that they have worked, there have been quite a few, I don't know how you would put it, incidents where people have, I guess the basic term was, well, you have never enforced these rules before. I think everybody understands that we intend to enforce the rules. So she has done a real good job. She's dead on getting these people to do it, and it's going real well. Parking and entry fees for the park will start on May 28th. 2 things I've had that people have requested. I talked to the garden club the other day, and there is an interest in starting a tree committee for the fort, because one of the areas that I addressed is I would like to start replacing a lot of the dead trees and removing some of the trees, and basically 100 trees around the fort in this fall. And they thought if there was an opportunity to have a tree committee, there are a lot of volunteers that would like to take part of it and help that. I think that would be a good idea. And there used to be a recreation committee that has been brought up that they'd like to see a recreation committee started, maybe working with the both the park here, but at the adult center and things like that. For now, that's what I have.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? As far as the tree committee goes, we've got the garden club already formed, and I think if there's a committee that you'd like to form that reports directly to you, that's quite all right. I think that's the easiest way to get that done quickly, and it seems like they're already organized, so you don't need us getting in their way. All right, old business, pool prices.
Wait.
Oh, excuse me, we'll go back to the committee reports. Yep.
You want me to read it? This is dated May 10th. There were 5 guest pilots who landed at the fort over the past month.
Microphone.
Sorry, let me try that again. May 10th. There were 5 guest pilots who landed at the fort over the past month. 4 of them were day trips visiting fort members. The 5th visitor was visiting a member for a week and yielded $75 in hangar parking income that was turned into the fort as airport income. Airport perimeter fencing was secured in areas that the deer have worn the barbed wire down. Fort Clark Springs Airport Committee.
I apologize, maybe those should go to you instead. Yeah, so do you have the other two?
Yes,
Okay,
Oh,
I apologize.
that's okay. Architectural's next.
Do we have a representative from the architectural committee? Perfect, thank you.
Good morning.
Morning.
Lisa Vale from the Architecture Committee. We are currently working on updating the permit application. We will be emphasizing the survey or plat to be required because we run into a lot of trouble of people adding on, wanting to add on and that type of thing, and we just can't tell by drawings, you know, if they're in their setbacks, and so there's been a lot of confusion, and we're also gonna try and simplify it, I mean, keep all the pertinent information, but make it a little easier for the members. We also have JE is stepping off, so we're gonna be looking for another volunteer. Not from Unit 1 or Unit 27 for sure, because we already have that covered. We'd like to spread it out a little more. But other than that, that's all we have.
I have a question.
Yes.
If someone from, let's say for example, no one's banging down on the door of the architecture committee to volunteer from different units, but you have 6 from Unit 27, are you gonna just turn them away?
No, but we'd like to exhaust other possibilities. I mean, 27 is the biggest one, so,
Yeah.
you know, we can have more than one, but we don't have any, I don't think anybody from 21 or 3 or 7 or, I mean, there's just a 15, I think, there's a lot just not represented, so.
Francis is from 21.
Francis, okay, sorry.
But my question is, you're not gonna turn anybody away if they apply, regardless of what unit they're from?
Well, I mean, we may hold them off if we're trying to find somebody,
Okay.
but if we can't find anybody, we'll take what we can get.
Okay, and do you have, Lisa, have you sent in a dispatch maybe to Julie that she can put out to go over that, or how do you want us to help you get that information out that you're looking for?
A dispatch, we just heard,
Okay.
that's, so we haven't
Right.
put anything into
Okay.
Julie, but yeah, dispatch, or, you know, if you know of somebody, you know, either give us their name or send them to us.
Will you be available at the town hall this
Yes.
afternoon? Yes. Okay, so maybe just 2 minutes on, hey, we're looking for people for them.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Maybe we'll have more people there.
All right, thank you.
Golf, yes.
From the Golf Committee. The Golf Committee continues to work behind the scenes even when there are no tournaments. However, according to the schedule submitted at the last board meeting, we are working to update tournament dates from June through December. We encourage anyone who anticipates scheduling a tournament to do so as soon as possible. The Golf Committee bought sand for the golf course greens. They are committed to helping to keep the course in great playing condition and to help purchase needed material as we are able. The deadline to submit essays and applications for the $1,000 scholarship was yesterday. As soon as those are received, the committee will meet and read each submission and choose the winning applicants. The next upcoming tournament is June 19th for the U.S. Border Patrol. Meanwhile, pray for more rain. Respectfully submitted, Katie Brown.
Has the golf committee reached out about scheduling these tournaments on Golf Now, will they have access to do that, or how will that be coordinated?
They will be able to do that.
Okay, great. Preservation?
How about you with preservation? We're currently working on the street level wall in front of Seminole Hall. They started that work. If you haven't noticed, they put up a cinder block support wall, and they're gonna be spacing it with a rock that's gonna match the building. It should last another 100 years after they finish that, so it's gonna look really good. We're continuing to work on Dickman Hall. We hope to repair the front door rather than replacing it. We'll see if we can pull that off or not. For future projects, we're working on the Powder magazine. We've got to replace the front door, and hopefully we're looking to maybe seal up those windows and make it go back to the original look. And but you know, that just depends on what kind of bids we get on the stonemason and some of the repairs that we have to do on that. Also for future look, we want to look at the service club from the 2021 review that we got from the Kinney County Historical Commission. We want to look at some of those repairs and get ahead of it before our next year's review and get some of those small repairs done. We also are looking at the hospital to hopefully get it to the Fort Colors, but that's way in the future depending on the funds that we get. We probably will not meet anymore this summer, and our next meeting should be September unless we do a voicemail or an email vote on something that we should get, if we should get a bid on the Powder magazine.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Clean McBride for recycle. Next couple of weeks, we should be moving the cardboard out of maintenance. We have 40 bales right now, and we need about 44. So flatten your cardboard and put it out on the curb, because that's a real moneymaker for us, since we don't pay for the truck. So that's great. May 29th is a Saturday. Recycle will be closed for the Memorial Day holiday. That's all for recycle. Next up, Los Morris Restoration Project. This is a report by Chris Hale, who is the chairperson. And just give me a second because it's on my phone. And okay, in the past month, there's been considerable work done to perfect our understanding of the structural problems with the pool. We've taken the conclusions and recommendations contained in the JQ Engineering Assessment Report, which was received in March, and we've conducted some experiments and done significant monitoring at different pool levels. As you've probably seen, it was also necessary to cut into the sidewalk in one location at the upper end of the pool. And what this work has confirmed is the biggest problems are related to the gutter drain system. There are two independent gutter drains, one on each long side of the pool. And working with maintenance and mud, we've cleared out numerous obstructions on both sides. This has all been in preparation for some significant repair work, which will take place week after next. This work, which will mostly be done by outside contractors at no expense to Fort Clark Springs, will 1, fill the gaping hole around the pump, 2, restore the workings of the north side gutter drain, and 3, repair the sidewalk that's so badly damaged from around the pump upward to the inlet into the pool. This work is scheduled to be completed the week before Memorial Day and is being coordinated to happen while the pool is drained for its weekly cleaning. Oops. So there won't be any shutdown of the pool for the repairs. Of course, there are further repairs needed, and some of these are significant. For example, the retaining wall at the lower end of the pool, northeast corner, is in desperate need of repair. We're investigating funding sources for this work. Also, recent heavy rains reveal some serious runoff issues that funnel water from several sources into the pool area, including all along the sidewalk on the south side of the pool edge. We'll soon be turning increased attention to this and other topics, but the structural stuff, especially the gaping hole at the pump, has been our highest priority. So that's about the pool. Now about the historical. Can you put up with me for 5 more minutes? This is about the Las Morris Spring historical marker. It's been repaired, and the Texas Historical Commission has consented to its new location, close to the parking lot for increased visibility. We're planning an unveiling ceremony at 10 o'clock on May 29th. It's a Saturday, and at this ceremony, we intend to give a full update on the committee's progress, the path forward, and give everyone an opportunity to ask questions and give input. So hopefully we'll have a large gathering because I'm sure there's lots of questions.
Thank you.
Well, can I say something about the banana plants? I just want to say thank you to everyone who volunteered to come out. Well, actually, they came out to get banana plants. Yeah. But once they saw what the job was, they all took a bunch and then they stayed to help us finish cleaning it up. So those have been removed. They had to be removed so they can do this repair to the outside wall. They got to get in there and dig. So thank you for everyone for coming. It's just the community spirit was there and it was awesome. Thank you.
So the next committee is bylaws committee.
Oh, except for your, yeah, I broke Alan's brand new tool.
So bylaws committee, we're still putting that back together. That's an important job, and we're actually expanding the scope of that to work around the rules as well. There's several items on the rules that we've received feedback on from members that they would like us to evaluate and look at. So we'll put that together and hopefully have that ready for the next meeting. Community council report.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, that was a good one. Community Council notes as of May 8, 2021. New business. Saturday, May 29th, the movie Arrowhead will be shown. Much of it was filmed on the fort. H.N. Bitter will give a small presentation about the movie prior to the showing starting at 8 o'clock. Movie will be shown at 8:30 in the amphitheater and concessions will be available. Sunday, May 30th, this is all Memorial Day weekend. Sunday, May 30th, the movie Miracle of the White Stallions. It is a 1963 Disney movie. It features John Larch as General Patton that helps save this breed of horses. In case you don't know, these are the Lufthansa horses out of Vienna that they saved, rescued. I haven't seen the movie, but I guess it's a good one. Hopefully Russell or Phil will give some historical background about Patton since he was here. The presentation will be at the amphitheater at 8 p.m. with the movie following. In case there's rain, the movies will be shown at the Post Theater. Fort Clark update. Postcards are being mailed to many schools in the surrounding areas, informing them that we are having Fort Clark Days 2022. Sponsorship letters to various business and organizations will be going out soon. We have $8,000 in our Fort Clark Day account, but our goal is to have $16,000. It costs a fair amount of money to bring in the reenactors, the camels, and the artillery. The association is going to do the arts and crafts, and we'll have a beer booth in the commissary. Discussion. It would be nice and a great kickoff if we had live music Friday night before. This is still being discussed as to where, whom, and when the dance could be held. Announcements. Linda O'Brien announced that people can come and get banana plants today at the pool. She also gave a short update on the pool progress. For a side note, anybody that got a banana plant, good luck. They're hard to get rid of. And now I'm very serious. Member concerns. A member mentioned that when we get a fair amount of rain in a short time, the water comes into his house. He mentioned that a drain pipe was installed in the green area, but the landscaping around it was not completed. And he still gets water in his house every time we get a lot of rain. He was not sure as to whom he should contact, as the pipe was installed in the green area by the lift station, but it did not correct the problem. He was not sure if he should talk to maintenance, MUD, Alan, or the board. It was decided that community council would pose this concern to the board, and should the board need more details, they may contact Bill or Linda as they were at our meeting. The next community council meeting is Saturday, June 12th at 10 o'clock, and this will be our last meeting until September 11th. Thank you, Kathleen Warm, Secretary. And I have a copy for you.
I have some update on this gentleman coming to us.
Okay, that's all I had. It was a major concern. Thank you.
Thank you. We went, my husband and I went down and looked at the property that this gentleman's talking about. It's his primary residence. It's on Airport Road, and it was repaired, by the looks of it, by MUD. They put in a culvert, but the culvert, they didn't open up the land away from the culvert so the water can go nowhere. So I'm not sure, but it looks like this might be something we would want to take up with MUD.
Okay, so,
First I've heard of it.
okay, that was fine. Next
Well, no,
question.
I think I mentioned it to you and you thought it was MUD, but sorry.
So what we'll do is we'll reach out to MUD and ask them to take a look at it. And if you could just stay with this, and we'll get it to the right person and keep just all the mentioned parties involved. So please keep the board involved, Alan, and then
Right, I think I'm going to a MUD meeting on Wednesday.
okay.
We'll talk about this as well.
Yeah, and send them a note prior so
Yes,
that
okay.
they're aware, and they can push that down through their structure. Thank you. And thank you, Community Council, for bringing that member issue. That's actually the first I've seen where it's been brought like that, so that's good. That's what it's been for. So, thank
He
you.
was just wonderful. You just concerned as to where to go, so I thank you, Linda.
Yeah.
All right, now we'll move on to the old business or unfinished business from the last meeting. I'm sure that we will have plenty of discussion on this first one. So first thing we'll discuss are the pool prices for the summer of 2021. As we discussed at the last meeting, there was some research that needed to be done, some thought put into how we were going to structure this. And I think that there's been a few different proposals. There was the original proposal, and then after some research, there was an additional one. But I want to just open that up to discussion, and we'll start anywhere. Okay.
In reviewing the information, I'm on board with just about everything. Where I'm confused is on the number 8.
The membership doesn't have this
Okay.
spelled out like that, so you'll have to reference specifically what you're.
The issue being whether or not guest resort package for hotel guests, RV park, and primitive camping areas, access to pool and trails. $10 a day for 2 people, $20 for 4, $5 per person per day. That's what it averages out to. So my concern is, we're still with the, my issue is, we're gonna have the motel people figure out, okay, who's gonna go into the pool and who's not gonna go into the pool, or if we're charging today $65, we just can't make it 70 even? So that whether they use a pool or not, they'll just, they'll be charged, like every other hotel in the country. Or the ones at least I've stayed at.
Is that, are you addressing it?
I'm just talking.
Okay, I'm assuming you're looking at the
Yes.
proposal that I sent. Okay, all right. The proposal that I sent in was one that number 8 said guest resort package for hotel guests, RV park, and primitive camping. Last year when we hashed out pool prices, one of the things that Rayanna had mentioned was that I can go ahead and get a $12 campsite at the primitive camping area and bring in 10 people to the pool.
No.
Okay, no?
I believe that the primitive camping, is it 12? Is that what the number, what is the number of people allowed per primitive camping site?
Good question.
I believe there is a number, but maybe
We
there's
just-
not. Maybe there's not. Maybe flip
But
it.
we were just kind of throwing out there, I can rent for $12 a primitive camping area, have my family of 6 there, and take them all to the pool. And so we were talking about the discrepancy in fairness as far as passing that charge on. So we kind of left it alone last year. But then whenever Mr. Peterson brought up the resort package, I kind of went, well, that would take care of that discrepancy that we were trying to address last year with the last board. But I can understand, like my point, your point, Mr. Guzman, is that, you know, every hotel charges a flat rate and you get to use your pool. But typically at those hotels, it's a very small pool outside of the hotel. We're set up more like a Schlitterbahn, where you pay for your hotel room, but if you want to go to the park, then you have to pay your $50, $60 for the ticket to get in the water. So I kind of acquiesced and said, yeah, I can understand the rationale here. And we do have people that are in their 50s, 60s, 70s that stay at the hotel, but they have no interest in going to the pool. So to jack the price up of the pool, the hotel room just to justify the pool use, I kind of fell away from that. So I don't think that the hotel resort fee or the RV park resort fee or the primitive camping resort fee is such a bad idea at this point. And that was why I thought of it that way.
Thank you for walking through that.
Understandable. I have a question on number 2 and number 5. Number 2, members not in good standing must bring their accounts up to date. To follow Property Code 209, members must be made aware in writing of the deficiency in their account before access to common property can be restricted. Does that include if they have guests? In other words, if I'm in arrears on my property and I have somebody come to visit me, I can't use the pool as a guest because I'm not in compliance, right?
You can pay the $5 or $7
Yeah,
off
right,
the
but I
road
mean-
fee, right?
Yeah, but they're not allowed
As a
my-
guest.
They're
as
not a
guest.
member guest.
Right, okay, that's what I figured. The other one, I guess the bracket ISD ID situation. I understand, you know, it's going to be a season pass from the 28th of May through September 6th, correct?
If they chose that option.
Yeah, and is that going to be the $153?
That's half of the 306 would be the normal rate if you paid $3 a day. But if you know you're going to come every day, you want to buy the season pass, then it's $2 a day times the 102 days in that period.
I didn't understand where it said until Sunday, July 18th.
Okay, because at that point, it's no longer 102 days. Now it's a reduced from half of the day. So at that point, I would just stop selling it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it doesn't make financial sense to do it anymore because they could just pay the $3 straight.
Right, okay, gotcha. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
The only thing I'd like to weigh in is with regard to grandparents. We have a lot of grandparents here. They have a lot of grandchildren. Just charge $2 per person for, if the kids come for the summer, it's gonna be a big number. Is there any kind of a pass system that could be developed so that they would be getting a reduced rate as well?
Personally, I wanted to write what I put last year, which was $1 for members' grandchildren up to age 18.
Every time they go to the pool?
Yeah.
Well, that's 50% discount. I don't, it's,
But it,
just something to consider, that's all. We wanna work with our members, not turn them away because they
Right.
can't afford to go to the pool.
I mean, last year what we had was people taking their grandkids to the creek because they couldn't afford to take them to our pool, so, or the summer before, excuse me. Is that correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
Does anybody else feel that that's a viable concern?
I think so. I'm in agreement with the idea of possibly going down to $1 for the grandparent kids, children. My issue again is, at this point, I would prefer to have a flat rate at the hotel, but at the RV park and at the camp road, we can make what you suggested as, a package deal over there. That way they're not buying a campsite for $12 and then taking everybody over to the pool. So we can come to some type of agreement on that. I'm in agreement with the prices. I think it's fair to the membership, and it's also very fair to the guests as well.
In relation to Linda's thought about grandkids, if you have your grandkids gonna be here a month, why not do like the ISD deal, where you give them a month rate, and then for a 2-week rate, a month's rate, a 2-month rate, you know what I'm saying? And just have it that way, and you could do the $1 per, or whatever you want to say, whatever amount comes up. That way, they would have an ID of some sort that they can go to the pool.
I'd like to make sure that all minors in the pool have supervision by an adult, a grandparent, a parent, so that they're not down there going wild and nobody knows about it. It's too tough on the staff to keep everybody going in the right direction. So that's just.
I believe that's already,
Not babysitting,
I
so.
believe that's already a rule that's
Is it?
enforceable.
Okay, perfect.
Mr. Peterson, any comments?
Let's keep it simple. This RV, park, campground, and motel, I think it's very simple if we just go ahead and say, we do our hotel rates as they are, it includes 2 entrances. We do no special rates for RV park or the campground, and it's $5 per person, and give them that rate. And
What about people just coming off the street from Eagle Pass?
$7.
And see, my problem with the $7 is, I've been to Balmoral, and you pay $7 to get into the state park and swim.
Well, you haven't been to Balmoral in over a year and a half, and you won't go there for another year.
No, it's
because
closed right now, yes. because-
Okay, our market is our market.
Right,
Let's
but-
take advantage
But
of it.
this is my concern, is when I went to Balmoral, and I went to change to get into the pool, I had a very nice, CCC built, Civilian Conservation Corps built restroom to change in. I didn't have what we have, which is a hole-in-the-wall shack, because we don't take pride in it.
That is
So-
correct.
So I really think, I would support $7 if we had the facility to justify it.
So how do we get the facility without the $7?
The $2 isn't gonna make or break because we don't have that many guests coming right now, Travis.
Well, then why would we give a reward for somebody that comes from nowhere and they get basically a rate that's just a couple dollars more than what our members are paying? These are not anybody special to us. If they wanna go ahead and rent a room, then we get more money off of that. They go into the RV park, we get more money off of that. But people off the street really shouldn't be given any kind of special treatment as far as a rate. And Balmoral is closed. It will not be reopened this summer.
Right.
You're not gonna get into Garner State Park. It's already, it's full constantly.
Contented, like you're saying.
The whole idea is understand your market and make the money off of it that you can. If we can get $7, I think we need to get $7. Our pool is still in good shape.
Right.
The bathrooms are not the best, but they serve the purpose. They're not coming for the bathrooms necessarily. And we will clean them up and we'll make everything work, which is better than what they've been in the last couple of years. So that's an improvement. But you're operating at a big loss every year. No matter if it's 10 people that come in extra, that's another $20. If you go 100 days, that's $2,000. And we're putting people down there to enforce the rules. They're not free.
Right.
There is no way to cover our money except for an entry fee. So it's pretty much we go with the market that's there. And that's the only thing, that's the only area that I sort of feel like we don't need to lower our perception of where we're at. I mean, we're doing enough of that already. We need to be proud of what we do have and keep it up a little bit. If you start charging less, you're going to keep the place in worse shape. And that's what you're going to have the money to do. So I think it's important that we sort of put the market of what our pool is, not necessarily what our restrooms are. So that's why I put the $7 in.
I did ask Mr. Peterson if he could come up with a system where, I've seen in other campgrounds around the country, where they put up something, or a sheet, and today's date, and somebody was in and cleaned, and they sign off on it, the employee, and then that employee, or an employee, goes in 3 or 4 times a day and signs off it. So we're at least working at trying to maintain what we have, making sure it's functionable, and you could even go so far as to put a sign up that says, we're in the middle of a big pool repair, a whole lot of improvements, please be patient, because it's gonna be really nice when we're done, something to that effect.
Do we have any other board comments before I open it up for the membership? Not at the moment? Okay. Do we have any comments from them?
Oh.
Come on up.
Okay. Good morning. Your concept is great about the price. I firmly believe that. Right now, we are the only game in town, okay? People want to go swimming. I would gladly pay $7 a day to go to the pool and then sit around, have my barbecue, have my hot dog or whatever, as long as I can do that. People are going to like to come. Also, like you said, that's a big pool. It's not like the little bitty one you
Right.
see in a motel. You know, and the water's always running, it's always fresh, and as long as the parents are there, well, it's fresh.
No, I'm saying that it's not always running. God sometimes puts a key in that.
Well, yeah, God is in control of that, but it doesn't run, you know. But anyhow, I think that is great, and like Alan said, this is our big chance, right, to bring the money in and have the people support the pool. I think they're just gonna come. And also, everybody likes to come to the Wilderness Park, so do that and charge them extra also. But that's my thought. The pool is our #1 thing for this summer. It's gonna be really big. Because you guys got a lot of mosquitoes down there now. Thank you.
Make sure the mic is on.
Talk closer, Mike, huh?
No.
Should twist it a little, Jim. Twist it. I mean, pull it. And I think it has a short in it is what's going on.
Yeah, it has a
Hello, hello.
There
it is.
There it is. You got it.
Jim Rice.
Yeah, it works.
So I guess I have an issue, and the question, how much money are we losing at the pool would be the #1 question.
Talking to the mic.
Fuck.
That's Alan. Alan.
I don't know, we haven't opened it up yet. Y'all never had any records of what's gone on there.
Oh.
Yeah, I heard you say we were losing money, a lot of money at the pool, so I thought maybe there was a number. We have 3 grandkids that probably come down and swim for 2 weeks. Presently, you're asking me to pay $100 per year to keep the golf course open. And everybody who doesn't play golf, I don't know whether you know this or not, the golf course loses about $100,000 every year.
That is incorrect.
What's the correct number?
So that's like 60,000, and this last year was only around 50.
So the audited financials are incorrect.
I know what's that. I don't know what you're looking at.
Okay.
You're welcome to come to my
So,
office and look at it.
I'd love to. Okay, so I'm paying $70 to keep the golf course open. And now, in addition to that, you want additional money for my grandkids to go swimming. I have an issue with that.
Charlene Simmons. I have to answer your question, Jim, because where do you go and live at a resort area and pay as little a month as we do? I have been here for 25 years, and we have paid almost the same amount from the time we came in. And I thought back then, this is ridiculous. We have all of these amenities and all this recreation, and we only have to pay this small amount. And every time y'all talk about raising it, all the members have a fit. But you cannot run any kind of business unless you keep up with the times. How are you going to repair stuff? Look what's happened to us. We have to keep raising, and we as members have to pay. If you lived anywhere else, you'd have to pay. I have tons of grandkids and great-grandkids that come every year, and I think, oh my gosh, how am I going to afford to pay for all of them going swimming every day? But you figure it out, because if you lived in San Antonio, you would be paying big, huge bucks to take them to different things, and they'd go one time only, because that's all you could afford. Here, you can take them swimming every day.
Hey Charlene, you know how you get the money from to pay for the kids?
How?
Ask their parents to pay.
Yes, thank you. I'm sorry. This is my neighbor.
So, in response, what I'd like to say is that I hope as much effort is being put into making the golf course pay for itself instead of me paying for the golf course. I understand it's something for, the realtors love it because it's a selling issue for the fort, but still, I don't think I should have to pay for someone else's privilege of paying golf.
The golf course is also, and this is a value that is difficult to put a number on, but the golf course is also heavily involved in dealing with our wastewater. So there's a dollar amount there. I don't know what it is. It may not be $60,000, but there is something there, and I can assure you we will be working to make everything pay for itself. So this just happens to be the first one.
Okay, last comment. So, audited financial statements showed a loss of $90,000.
Without reviewing that, I would say that there's probably some benefits associated in other buckets in which revenue is collected that aren't associated with that number. For example, when you have a golf tournament and the hotel is packed, where you normally run at 35% occupancy. And as we continue to grow and have duck-in and the other amenities open, there will be plenty of additional revenue associated with traffic at both the pool and the golf course.
Okay.
I think what was said before is our pool, for us to use as a member, the maintenance and all that is taken care of by our dues.
Correct.
But to have, what do you call it, lifeguards and attendants and all that kind of stuff, that's extra. So if we're gonna open the pool to the public or to member guests, then, and we wanna keep it safe, then we have to have those. So if we have to have those, then we have to charge. So, I think the idea of, for the grandchildren, which is a big thing, Bill stole my line, because I was gonna say, you know, your parents can pay for your kids. You know, they pay summer camp all the time and send kids, you know, while they work 8 to 5 every day. So they could send some money to the grandparents to help pay. I do like the idea of giving a discount if they'll buy for the month, or 2 weeks, or for the summer. you know, to drop it from $2 to $1, because they're not gonna go every day most of the time. So you're making